All right, here we go with the latest hot off the press edition of Extra Time. Thank you for your questions. Ewan gets us going with a Manchester United question. Maybe this is a question that more than just he has asked. I suspect it is. Should Manchester United just get Mourinho back? I mean, at least he knows how to get Man United out of this position. Hopefully the board learn their lesson and will just provide him the funds and the support. Well,
things that are not going to happen.
Yes. Would it be any worse than what they have right now?
It can't be any worse. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you could.
Would it actually be better? Would it actually be better?
Well, it depends on what kind of levels are we starting at.
Well, we're starting from pretty low bar, aren't we?
If we're saying, can it go from? I mean, this has got to be as low as it's ever been in 20 years at United, right?
Oh.
So
no, probably longer.
Right. So it seems like, never mind Mourinho, it seems like bringing anybody else in right now would make a difference.
The thing is, like, as I said, it can't be any worse than we're with Solskjaer right now. But it's still the same dressing room that Mourinho left, with all the players that didn't enjoy and had their issues with Mourinho. That saw them play as badly as they did for them to bring in Solskjaer in the first instance. So I don't think Mourinho coming in, even if it's short term, fixes any of this.
Let's face it, if you think about it, right? If you're one of those players, and as Shaka said, it's all the same players, you imagine somebody coming into the dressing room from upstairs and going, right, lads, we're making a change, and Mourinho's back, they'd all go, oh, what? They were like, you kidding?
Right.
You're bringing him back?
Man United have given us one of life's great cycles, because you remember every week, almost every week at the end, we'd have... Almost daily we would be having a has Arsene Wenger stayed at Arsenal too long conversation, right? Which most of us thought he had just overstayed. And then they go and get hammered by somebody. We just talk, Man United they've filled that void of what the hell are we going to talk about today? And I mean, it's getting a bit boring. I was saying to Stevie earlier today when we were at the golf for the gazillionth time this year, unlike you. It's getting a bit boring because there's nothing else to say about Man United at the moment. There is nothing.
It only took you to the first question to get a little golf dig in my way. I knew it was coming, it was just when. Actually, Man United plays a part in the second question as well. Ryan, for Stevie, which would you prefer, Liverpool winning the Premier League this year or Manchester United not winning the Premier League for another 20 years?
No, Liverpool winning it this year.
Thought you might say that.
Easy.
Man United might not win it for another 20 years.
Listen, the way they're going, it could be.
Could be another 20 years the way they're going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No contest.
That would be not biased at all.
Julien is with us. Gonzalo asks, what needs to happen to make international football as exciting as club football, Julien?
That's just not possible by definition of how club football and international football. But the League of Nations, the Nations League, as we said, has brought a bit of novelty and a bit of excitement as well. And they've extended it to make it or try to make it even better. So Germany, for example, who were relegated, are going to stay in that the top tier if you want. So. Let's see, but for the rest, qualifiers will always be qualifiers, unfortunately, and friendlies, the few that we might have now and again, will always be friendly. So I just think people have to get used to it. We will always be more excited by club football anyway. And apart from World Cups and Euros and that kind of stuff.
There's only one guarantee now with what they've done and how they're opening all these tournaments up to more teams. It's going to make it more boring. It's not going to make it more exciting because there's no...
You mean the final tournaments themselves?
There's like how many... Because there's so many teams getting in now, what games actually matter that much? There's very few.
And that, in a way, was the genius of the Nations League because it was only 3 teams per group.
And what happened was Germany got relegated, as Joe said, and then they've adjusted the format, so technically they're not relegated. I'm not with you, Stevie. I, for one, can't wait to see Gibraltar and San Marino play at a major championship. I'd buy a ticket for that.
Right. If they gave you a ticket, you wouldn't go.
Correct. No, if they gave me a ticket and paid me an appearance fee, I still wouldn't go.
Right.
I would.
But the trouble is everybody...
Actually, I might go as well. I might be going.
But it's almost everywhere's the same now. They're trying to make everybody happy. and all they're doing is diluting product, generally. And you can call that elitist or not, but listen, the qualification campaigns and all sorts of different tournaments are there for a reason. You have to earn the right to qualify. Opening doors is not going to all of a sudden make these much smaller nations into juggernauts that are going to be, competing with the France and Germanys and Brazils. It's hogwash.
So the romance of the Iceland run at the last Euros didn't just...
No.
Well, Iceland's run never came about because of they were opening up Europe. Iceland's run came about because Iceland itself put a project in place many, many years ago for the younger players, the grassroots, and that's one of the reasons. But that really came through to bear fruit for them. They put a lot of money and effort and time into coaching kids and their setup.
The thing is, listen, international football will never have the appeal of club football because in international football you've got two nations, and the only the fans, the only people interested in that game are people from those two respective countries. Whereas club football has a far more global appeal. So therefore, just by law of averages, you're going to have more interest for club football.
You telling me you're not going to be watching Scotland San Marino next week?
No.
The mighty San Marino.
I have no affiliation.
We're not even going to watch it.
San Marino.
Scotland got a chance of a win. I can tell you that.
Oh, well, yeah, don't say that very often.
Sheila Marie, Stevie, you take this one first. What was your first real I'm a professional soccer player moment? When did that occur?
Do you know, I've got to tell you, I actually, when I went to Adrian United Boys Club, having played in just local teams and all kinds of stuff till I was 15, when I went there, I kind of felt different. It felt proper.
Yeah, United. First time you
It
walked
did.
in.
It felt as though I was in a proper situation here.
The boys' club, he said. The boys' club.
Yeah.
Aye. It was very professionally run. It was completely different.
Right.
You used to train in the Ash Parks. You know
The
what
actual-
Ash Park
the
is?
actual
You know
team.
what an Ash Park is?
Oh. Is it a park full of ash?
Red
Red Ash.
Ash.
Oh, Red Ash, really?
Yeah, a lot of teams used to, the boys we used to play in those. Yeah, Red Ash.
Well, they used
have
they
no
used-
idea what
on
that is.
game day, they used it as a car park, and
Yes.
then during the week we used to train on it.
Red Ash.
Okay.
It's like a Red Ash.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gravelly.
It's like
Doesn't exactly
if it's
cushion a
a
fall,
car
does it?
park,
No,
I
it
know
rips
what you're talking
your
about.
skin
No,
off.
you don't want to be going.
God.
You don't want to be. You want to be staying on
So
your
what was the
feet.
reasoning to have you train on that? Was it just no other grass fields?
Well, they never had anything else available.
Like, you boys are on the ash.
Yeah. Red Ash. We used to do that quite a bit. Some of the clubs.
None of your
boys, not
fancy AstroTurf.
not professionals.
No,
No chance.
car park.
First moment, guys, Shaka,
Signing my first pro contract
with Reading?
with Reading, September 10th, 1992. I remember it well. I actually played my first game for Reading before signing my contract.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be in the starting lineup. Mark McGee named me right before the game, and I had no idea what was coming.
Yeah.
The whole day was a blur. But then, kind of signing my first contract, I realised, hold on.
Because you'd come from collegiate
Yeah,
football. So
I was
all
playing
of a
college.
sudden-
I was on trial at Reading, and they would give me like £100 a week or something like that, just to be on trial. And then all of a sudden, I was in because of an injury to Steve Francis, who started goal.
Found out something about you yesterday.
That's a bit concerning.
Oh, that's right. I was. Yeah.
You and we were talking to one of the camera crew, who's a native of Trinidad,
Yeah,
and he reckoned you were born in England.
I was. I didn't realise I was still news.
So you're English.
You're English.
I was born.
So you're
yeah.
English.
I have an English
So
passport.
you turned your back.
It is on his Wikipedia
England.
page.
I did not turn my back on England at all.
So you're not. You're
So
a
how
kind of you're not really Trinidad and Tobago, are you?
So how did you choose Trinidad over England then, if you were born in
Because
England?
I feel I'm from Trinidad. I feel
You're not. You
I'm
were,
Trinidad
you
and
were born.
Tobago.
You were born in Hackney.
Yes, I was born in England and moved back to Trinidad when I was 2 years old. I have no recollection of England in my early days.
It is on his Wikipedia page.
I didn't realise that was
it's for
news.
public consumption.
No, because he said to me, Shaka was. Well, he said Shaka's
Technically,
English.
he used the word technically.
Yeah, he said technically. They said the Trinidad and Tobagans don't see him as Trinidad.
I played as an overage player for English under 23s.
I'm going like that as if I know.
yeah.
So you turned your back on your country. England.
Trinidad and Tobago is my country.
I think you did the right thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You were born there. Is that what drew you back there in later years?
I just went to
Was
play
it the money?
football.
Was it the money?
I just went to play football.
You went for the money, don't kid yourself.
Bimal, Jules, has any of you seen the Joker movie yet? I'm going to say none of us have, so
I
we're
am.
relying on you, Jules.
Oh man, I'm scared of him.
Sorry,
Scared of
not
clowns.
yet. No, it will happen soon. I will go hopefully this weekend, maybe next week. But I definitely want to see it. But I haven't seen it yet. Sorry.
What's that about?
Yeah. Oh, it's
For the Joker.
one of the Batman.
You like clowns?
Well, I play golf with you.
He gets-
hey, just take me off. Just take me off.
I'll take that as a yes then.
gets to see the Joker on a daily basis.
Tell you what, I fell into that. I walked right into that, didn't I?
Tell you what, he
Be
just
honest.
teed that up.
I walked right into that one.
Oh my goodness. On a daily basis, you get to see it.
See
Why-
that?
why
Down
do
there
you
for
think
dancing, up there for thinking. Do you like clowns?
No, I'm scared of clowns. I'm scared of clowns.
Oh, God, you took me up there.
That was
There
good.
was one more, but I think we've
that was it.
we've
Yeah,
got to
let's-
sign
let's
off.
wrap this up.
We've got to sign off on that. We will be back tomorrow. Frank LeBeouf will be with us. Maybe he's seen the joke.
I did a walk. I did a walk straight into that.
Do you like clowns?
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.